Yama, good morning everybody. Welcome to the Breakfast Show here at New South Wales Aboriginal Land Council's 2018 Statewide Conference at Lovedale in the Hunter Valley. I'm Michelle Alexandrovic-Lovegrove and I'm sitting here with our Deputy Chair and Councillor for the Northwest Region, Ann Dennis.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Councillor.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah. Well, Councillor, I'd just like to acknowledge, or would you like to acknowledge the Wonnarua people?
Yeah, I'd like to acknowledge that we meet on the lands of the Wonnarua people and pay respects to elders past and present, and acknowledge, like all the areas, traditional lands where Aboriginal people have travelled from to attend this state meeting.
Absolutely. Now, NSWALC Statewide is in its final day. It's been a jam-packed week. It's our final morning to yarn up at breakfast before the delegates make their various treks home across the state. So, of course, our Deputy Chair, our Northwest Region Councillor, Ann Dennis, is with us. You're a strong woman from Walgett.
I am, and I'm the elected councillor for the Northwest. There's 16 land councils across the Northwest region, and I'm the elected Deputy Chairperson, New South Wales Aboriginal Land Council. And, you know, I suppose the challenges that we face across not only our region, but right across the state of New South Wales to support local Aboriginal land councils in probably meeting their full potential. Mm.
With your 16 LALCs and attendees here, I guess indeed all the LALCs, how do they benefit from an event like this?
Oh, look, it's just an amazing experience for LALCs to get that support, like to meet with, members from across the 120 local Aboriginal land councils across New South Wales, to experience, and talk about, the challenges that they face, but also have a look at, how they can move their land council forward. So, to meet with members about, what economic development, programs that different LALCs have put in place. Also, to see the amazing cultural experiences and how they engage with their members.
Some of the common challenges, I guess, are there any? I mean, there's probably for all LALCs, but in your region particularly?
Oh, probably the common challenges are around employment. It's accessing, employment that's really engages and engaging with the young people around education and probably understanding the compliance aspect of the New South Wales Aboriginal Land Council, the Land Rights Act. Probably understanding, the legislation around how they can function through members, through their board, and through their CEO, and how they can actually support.
And actually the registrar is going to be speaking first up this morning, isn't she?
And that's really important because, because of the distance of, the 121 land councils across New South Wales, it's practically impossible to get out to, all local Aboriginal land councils right across every community to talk about membership, to talk about, compliance issues, to talk about, those regulatory matters that all land councils really need to deal with.
So is that what this session's going to be? Because I actually haven't seen the registrar talk at an event like this.
There's probably, there's things around membership, but there's also different challenges that locals might experience. So and I suppose it's that understanding and how the legislation is interpreted across the different land councils. So, and I think it's that face-to-face contact because, when reading and trying to understand the legislation, it's that different interpretation.
Yeah.
So, I think it's great that there's live experiences that we all face, and to have someone to talk to members face-to-face and have that contact, I think that's critical.
Yeah, I was actually told yesterday that the registrar session is generally quite a popular one. People do take it, they just go, great registrars here, we're there. Is that sort of, yeah?
Yeah, look, I think, all the sessions that we've had has been, popular and they're real issues. They're what we face on a day-to-day basis. and some of the challenges that the workshops that we had yesterday around economic development, but also around treaty and constitutional reform. That creates a lot of debate, and members talk about that because it's that understanding. Once you listen to the different views, then you can incorporate that into yours and a better understanding, so that really the CEOs and the board members, whether it's the chairperson or the board member, can go back to their community and engage at that local level.
With those those discussions that were yesterday, and there's what we're talking about, water today, I think, and housing.
Oh, yeah. Look, and they're really critical issues. Like particularly when we're entering into a economic development phase where being able to access land for cultural purposes, for spiritual purposes, and for economic development purpose. Water is a vital component of that. So it's critical that the challenges of how Aboriginal people, how we access waterways. Whether you live along the ocean or whether along the rivers as we do.
With these types of very important discussions, I know we are live streaming across the morning, so hopefully, brothers and sisters who've been watching on Facebook, I do know that people are making comments, etc., and that we are having people watch a lot of the sessions, but as far as council goes, sort of taking back some of those, the views, the feedback, etc., from the network, what happens after that?
Look, and that's important, particularly around our strategic plan and how, I suppose, council, our we meet targets, like how we actually support NSWALC staff, zone managers, zone staff, to be able to understand, many of the issues that the diversity, I suppose, amongst land councils, how we can actually support and put in place, regional programs that members can attend, and how we can actually go out and talk at, whether it be at a local meeting or at a regional meeting.
We're doing the Great Aussie Salute a bit today, aren't we?
Oh,
I don't know why.
They're quite active today.
The flies are really active, so sorry everyone if you're seeing us do this and we're just surrounded by a cloud of them. Yeah. As far as your LALCs go, you're in a part of the state. You're up to the Queensland border. A lot of they call themselves Murris, not Kuris. And all that sort of thing. What is it about that whole region that you like the most?
Oh, look, it's the people, honestly, and I suppose the creativeness that the members and the board and the challenges and the resilience of, nothing really phases, there's a lot of community issues that really impact on the day-to-day operations of a land councils. But, the resilience of people, we look at the smaller communities of, Wilmaringal and Angonia and Colarendabri and then the larger communities around Walgett and Burke and Moree, up on the Queensland border we've got Boggabilla and Toomala and Mungandai. So, the opportunities, and there's rural properties around Canamble that our people, the mob's managing as well. So, it's that diversity and that experience and how we actually build that capacity. But, there's no challenge too small for the mob, it comes, they deal with, whether it's the environment, whether it's, social impact every day, and it's that their resilience, and they come along to the state conference, and they feel that they're not the only ones dealing with this situation. There's a lot of other experience as well, and I think that's that's where the support, that's where they get their strength, because it is about future generations and how we build that and sustain an economic development future, so that we can take our place and our kids can take their place in the two worlds that we live.
When you talk about being creative and resilient, I've got to say, I've often thought you in particular, Councillor, you know, and actually Councillor Murray as well, with your regions, you travel some vast distances.
No, it's a, you know,
I don't know how you do it.
like, and it is amazing because, you know, like it's, you know, it could be 900 kilometres, you know, west of me or 900 kilometres east of me to travel across the 16 land councils. But when we look at, you know, all of the 9 councillors and the area, like it's such a beautiful country, and the diversity of our country, you know, like and you know, like just being able to sit and talk about the challenges, and as I say, they are the same, but then the solutions, you know, like because, you know, we're thinking about those solutions and how, you know, like and how we actually move forward. So, you know, it's just a great experience, you know, the opportunities to be able to attend, you know, the permanent forum at the United Nations in New York, and also attend, you know, the United Nations in Geneva. I think these experiences, and, you know, like how do we support local land council members and board members to be able to experience that, because we are one part of not only this, you know, not only your community at a local level and a regional level, but we operate at a state level and also a national level, and significantly, you know, like we operate at an international level as well. So, you know, it's just a great experience, and I just can't thank my region and the people enough. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. Councillor, thank you so much for your time this morning. She's like, here you go, here's the mic, here's the mic. Thank you so
Shout
much.
out to the mob out there. So
Anyone in particular you want to shout out to?
Look, the whole community. I know that they've been quite keen and eager and you know, like really excited about seeing people in. It's the first time that we've actually done it at a forum. So, you know, like, technology's just taken off, so thank you very much. Yeah,
no worries. Thank you, Councillor, and best of luck this morning in there, and we'll see you a bit later. You got your stuff? Okay, ciao. That was Councillor Ann Dennis, NSWALC's Deputy Chair and the Councillor for the Northwest Region. No, don't run away. Come on, come sit down, Holly. Yeah. So Councillor's off. We are starting probably in about 45 minutes, but in the meantime we're going to have our breakfast yarn up. And I've got 2 lovely ladies coming in here. Okay, so good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so would you both just like to introduce yourselves to the Facebook viewers? Okay, so don't hold that bit because that's the microphone bit. Okay.
Yeah. My name is Holly Taggart. I work at the Tamworth Local Aboriginal Lands Council.
Yvonne Kent, I work at the Local Land Council as the Vice Chair.
Okay, thank you, Yvonne. So with this, I can move this between you, or you can pass it around. What would you like to do? I'll hold it, okay. Okay, so both of these ladies I've met before. We've done a number of events with Tamworth Local Aboriginal Land Council as part of the media unit at NSWALC, especially for your Aboriginal Cultural Showcase in January, which I love.
You're going to have to come to the next one as well.
I want to, but there's no accommodation in Tamworth apparently. I tried looking about a month and a half ago and I couldn't find anything. So
Fiona's got a spare room.
All right, good, thank you. All right, beautiful. Okay, so I've just sorted out accommodation for the Country Music Festival. Now, Holly,
yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Holly was one of the award winners at NSWALC. Had a formal dinner to recognise some of the significant elders and youth in communities. And Holly was nominated and won the award for 2018 Youth for the Northern Region, for Councillor Lynch's region. So you had no idea though, did you?
No, I didn't have any idea at all. I was just sitting there and I was just having a talk to, you know, Auntie Yvonne and my boss Fiona and Daisy, who's also a board member at the LOUT, and just was talking, and then all of a sudden he said my name. I was like, what? This is not right. And I was like, what should I do? Do I get up? Do I go up? I don't know. So yeah, I did not know at all, to be honest. So, but I'm still quite shocked this morning. I still can't believe it. So yeah. So, and the awards were actually, it'd be lovely to have one
so we could show you. But they're lovely glass boomerangs on a beautiful wooden base. It's okay. It's all right. Oh, I think someone's going to run off and get one that might be hanging about there somewhere. Now, you gave, I have been told by a number of people independently, quite an inspiring speech. Some fella that I didn't even know came out later and he goes, "Oh, that young girl that won that award," and he couldn't remember your name. And I said, "Oh, it was Holly, wasn't it?" And he said, "Oh, she was amazing, so inspiring."
Wow, thank you. I was just trying to calm my nerves down and try not to cry as well. So
Aww.
I was like, what should I say? So I just...
I think she had everyone else crying.
What's that?
I think she had everyone else crying.
Oh, God bless.
So
Yeah?
I was like, just, say thank you to like everyone that's helped me along the journey, especially getting where I am today with the LAUC and also with the Opportunity Hub. So I was like, just say thank you to them, and if I forget something, well, too late, but as long as I just say thank you, because they're the ones that did really help me with that job and everything else.
So tell us a little bit about what you do at the LAUC.
So I'm a trainee admin, so I just do general admin stuff, which you probably do in normal jobs, and then I also work in the Opportunity Hub section as well. So I work with kids from Year 5 to post-school, and I just go into their schools and do programs and do fun activities, and I'm working alongside Wonnarua, which is one of the centres at Tamworth, and been working with Peel, Tamworth High and Oxley, with them doing fun activities and getting to know the kids and building a really good relationship with the kids. And I also do the reporting as well with OpHub, and so that's my role.
Just a couple of things. Keeps you busy, keeps you out of trouble, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Joshy, do you want to come and we'll just show everybody what the boomerangs look like? So this is an example. This isn't Holly's, but this is an example of the boomerangs that the award winners received last night. So we had 2 award winners from each region. So our 9 regions at councillors, Elder of the Year, basically, 2018 Elder and 2018 Youth, and they are made by, blown, everything, the whole thing created by an Aboriginal company. I know, Wonnarua Glass. Thank you guys at Wonnarua Glass in Victoria. We have bought quite a few boomerangs, so they actually blow them for us. So we order them, etc. from them, and they send them up to Victoria, and I think from Victoria, and I think to this date we haven't had a broken one in the mail, have we? They're all good, lots of bubble wrap, but that's fantastic. So they're very, very special things. They're very lovely. So I'm happy that you received one last night. Thank you. Thanks, Josh. You can grab that. What do you think, Aunt? Clearly you're going to be happy about Holly's award.
Oh, very happy, and it shows, for me personally, as an elder also, that with our young youth coming up, that they can aspire to this as well. And to see Holly receive that award, I'm still tearing up.
Oh, it's okay.
It was very inspirational.
Yeah.
And I know she'll take that inspiration back to our community, because the youth think a lot of Holly, especially at Bounce Back, which she comes out as well. And for us as a land council, it's very inspiring to see our youth step up.
Yeah. Now, Bounce Back that's the basketball on Saturday nights,
Yes.
Is that it? Yeah, and do you have it every Saturday?
We do for about 8 weeks.
Yep.
We have about 60 to 70 kids. Even to the extent of the ones that used to play last year come back now as coaches or trained to be refs. So it's like a family type thing. So they keep going and come back each year. So obviously they enjoy it and enjoy the kids they mix with and all that. And we also have workshops with the Varis. We had Joe Stead there last week with the artwork and all that. So we get some really good role models that come out and actually talk to the kids kids and they actually enjoy it. And the best thing about Bounce Back, if it's booked out on Saturday night, we could use the Friday night for karaoke, so it's quite good.
Oh, okay. And you get a good show for the karaoke?
Oh, we do.
Okay, here you go. Here, hold it.
Oh, no,
off
I
here.
can't.
Yeah. Just like give it back.
Give it back. I just enjoy watching the youth.
So how long have you been at the LALC, Holly?
I've been there about a year and probably a year and a half now, actually.
Okay.
And yeah, I've got another traineeship with them, which will carry me until next year and the year after, which is good. So yeah, not long, but been there for a little bit now.
Yeah. Now, can I ask how old you are?
I'm 18.
Yeah. Oh, gee. You're the same age as my son. Wow. And you know, that sort of thing where, you know, young people are vaulted or step into a position of leadership with other younger people, I'm very, very admiring of, you know, because you're still growing up too. You're still becoming the woman that you're going to become as well. So you've got your own stuff as well. So I'm always very inspired by young people who have all of that extra and that generosity, etc., that you can give while you're doing your own growing as well. You know, award or no award, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, I know you take a particular interest because you do have a number of young people, you know, working in the Opportunity Hub at the LALC, etc. And I know you keep the you know, the elder mentor eye over people, don't you?
I enjoy it because I have 3 grandchildren as well.
Yeah.
16, 17 and 20. So, and to see other kids go out and hopefully help them achieve what they want to. And I'm involved in a number of things at Wonnarua Country as well, and the high schools and all that, especially the Girls' Academy and the Boys' Academy as well. And to see them come through school and achieve what they want to, it's really inspiring for me as an elder. And to see them come from nothing to somewhere, like young Jacob Stanton, for instance. He had a rough life and now he's in the Opportunity Hub.
I know Jacob. Yes. Yeah.
And where he is now, even to the extent of boxing, he does hours at the PCYC, training the youth as well. So he's taking what he's learned through life and passing it on to the younger ones as well, like Holly will, and I know her journey will be exactly the same. And I've watched Holly in Tamagai because my grandchildren went there. One's still there. I'm
not being rude, Aunt. I'm just trying to find our live stream to see if anyone's saying hello to you. Please keep going.
And I can see Holly doing exactly the same journey and inspiring the youth on her way, and she always stops and helps them. And the kids just adore her, because especially when she's playing basketball, she gets out there and she dances and throws the hoops, the balls in the hoops and all that. She just loves it.
Yeah.
And to be so enthused at her age of mixing with the young, it's fantastic to see. And I hope that those youth, when she goes back home, will be inspired to achieve what she has.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I was just having a little bit, because we can see on our phone here on Facebook is the live stream. See, look, Aunt, there you go. There you are. Look. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And we've got thumbs up from Alex McNeely, Melanie Milgate, and actually there were other messages as well. Oh, I can hear myself. That's not very good. So someone did say congratulations, Holly, but I'm not sure who it was. Because it's a bit disconcerting watching the live stream when you're actually doing it.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. So next big event for the LALC, I guess, is the cultural showcase in January.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our biggest one next year. So getting all that organised and ready, and getting the kids all sorted for that as well. So yeah, that's our next one for us.
So the Aboriginal Cultural Showcase, which is run by Tamworth LALC, in partnership and association with some other great people in the area.
And NSWALC.
And NSWALC, yes, as NSWALC, we are a major sponsor, and proudly so. Runs across the Australia Day weekend, Australia Day week actually, over a number of nights, smack bang in Peel
10.
Street.
10 nights.
10 nights, yes. The Aboriginal
10 days.
Oh, okay.
We're only 4, but
Yes.
I think this year we're going to be 3
Okay.
because we're we come from the being fringe dwellers into the main part of town now, so we're actually in Fitzroy Street
Okay.
and Toyota Stage, so they're actually supporting us in that.
Yeah.
So we'll be right in the middle of town.
Yeah, okay, great. So I do recall this year you were on.
Coles.
Yeah. Are you going to be there next year?
No, we're going to be in Fitzroy Street.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's right in the middle of town, and they've got
Yeah.
that big screen
Okay,
where
okay.
they show everyone on stages.
Oh, lovely.
But we will be on that Toyota stage.
The real big
So
one.
we're really
Yeah.
uptown now.
Very uptown. Because even a couple of years ago when I came, it was down the bottom, away
Yes.
from everybody
Called
else.
fringe dwelling.
Yeah, but those sorts of
council.
those
Told them
sort-
we were sick of it.
those sorts of events used to happen in the park,
Yes.
didn't they? So slowly but surely, it's just like we're moving back in.
Yes. Yeah, so we'll be in the main street where a lot of people will see us, which will be really good. So it shows us and especially the kids what they got and what their talent is as well, because they're for them to do that, to get up on stage, some of them obviously nervous and quite, you could say,
That's where you
worried.
come in.
Yeah. So for them to be presented how they should be it's a big deal for not only us but especially for them. So
Yeah.
And the other thing too, Queen of Country, we have some our mob in. I think we've got about 4.
yeah, we got about 4 in.
This year. Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Because Sam Duncan last year, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Got Miss Congeniality.
Yeah, and that was
She-
great.
She could have blitzed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with because we're supporting one lot, one girl, and a couple of the other career agencies are supporting the others. So hopefully next year we'll take it out.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do on the 25th of this month. I'm going to go and have a bit of a cultural awareness with the girls at their workshop.
Okay.
Spend some time with them because I think our girls, not they do, but personally I believe that they need that elder there to give them that confidence and support.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I put my hand up for that.
Oh, God bless you. Yeah.
So that they can feel part of it.
No, I think it's really important. It's really important, and you're a very strong woman,
Proud of me.
giving woman. Yeah, yeah. And also, I think sometimes you're not going to take any,
No,
you tell them straight. You tell them straight. All right. Well, look, ladies, I've had you on here for quite some time, so I know that you're going to probably need to. Have you had brekkie yet?
Yeah, we
Yes,
had
we-
Yeah. Okay. All right. They go, we're from Tamworth. We get up
saw you in
early.
there.
Yeah.
I was rushing around. All right, so look, I'll let you go.
Okay.
And best of luck, and I hope to see you for the Aboriginal Cultural Showcase in January. And congratulations again,
Thank
Holly.
you so
Okay.
much.
So just shout out to anyone, any of the mob.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
All right, anyone in particular?
No.
No. All right.
Just hi everyone.
All righty. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you a bit later then.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you. Thank you so much. Holly Taggart from Tamworth Local Aboriginal Land Council, and she was a winner of the Youth Award for the Northern Region last night. Hey, Peter, you want to come and sit down next to me? Look, he's waiting. He's like, oh, I'm here. You can hold this. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you going?
Good, good. Peter Gibbs, who's our Western Zone Director. And how many larks in your zone? Quite a few, eh?
Yeah, 25.
25.
Across 2 regions.
Yeah,
Central region and the Northwest region.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so being a zone director, so I know we talk about councillors and regions, etc., but we do have 5 sort of senior people across NSWALC who direct teams who engage directly with LAOCs and provide assistance, etc., etc. So how's that working for you? Because how long have you been with us? A year or something?
Just on 6 months.
6 months. It
been-
seems like much longer.
I've just been blessed with this opportunity to work in central, west and far west New South Wales. It's really where I come from as well, but I've lived in the central west for over 20 years.
Yeah.
That's where my wife's family are from. We're at home, but we're working as well. But it's great to be able to go out to some of the remote communities and talk to local land councils about their business, have a look at their communities. Sometimes they're just in despair, and at the moment we're really bashed around by the drought, no water, and all the economic conditions that come with that. But there's still hope. People have still got this incredible hope that they can see through the Land Council network that they will improve the lives of our people, improve the conditions in which they live, and it really inspires us to do better and to be alongside them on this long journey.
It's a long journey, it's a big journey. I was talking with Councillor Dennis before and about the kilometres that she travels, and your life's a bit the same too, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm a zone director, and so I travel the same route that she does, and it's amazing that you can lots of still dirt roads in our back country, and you wouldn't believe it, but parts of our state in the back part of New South Wales, there's still unsealed roads, still very remote villages. But she's a person that I follow around when she's been there, and I come along behind and try to assist where we can. And Councillor Ryan for Central Region, both of them are great leaders in there. And it's for me as the zone director, as I say, I'm blessed to have a job that can be there working at the coalface with our people, but following along beyond those great leaders.
Energy levels. You'd have to have quite good ones, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think you do. I think for to be a zone director, you really need to have the energy. But there's a lot of things that go with zone director roles. I've found out in the 6 months that there is just so wide and varied every day. There is no day that's the same as the one before. And even from hour to hour, things change. But the energy comes from the passion to improve conditions for our people. The pride that we get from going out to work with our people who are at the front end of social conditions that we shouldn't be facing in our time in Australia. In a first world country, many of our people still live in third world conditions, and that's the reality. And so as a zone director, that's where the energy comes from. You don't need to pop a pill. You just need to be connected.
Wow. Peter, thank you, and thank you for your time. And I might let you go because I've got Sandra Smith from Wonnarua hanging over there. Thank you so much for popping in and saying hello.
No worries.
Yeah. See you a bit later. As Peter Gibbs, our Western Zone Director at New South Wales Aboriginal Land Council, and the zone actually covers 2 council regions. Come and sit down. Good morning. How are you going?
Good morning. Well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, good.
That's good.
So Andrew Smith, who's the CEO of Wonnarua Local Aboriginal Land Council, are you happy to hold that, or would you like me to hold it for you?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Fine.
No worries. So, Andrew, good to see you.
Thank you. Good morning. Good to see you too.
Yeah, it's been a while. Couple of years, I think, since I've seen you.
Yeah, you did that deadly little video up there with the sand dunes and the history of the sand dune adventures. That was good.
Yeah, and you've buffed up even more, and it was on this big weight loss journey and stuff, and getting fit.
Lifestyle change journey.
Yeah, okay.
So I went to 9 funerals in 12 weeks, all family, and I decided I didn't want to be a statistic anymore because I was severely overweight. And I just educated myself and become disciplined, and consistency was the key. And so now there's no good or bad foods, there's only good or bad choices.
Yeah, okay, no, fair enough. Okay. And so how have you settled into that whole change of your life? Because I know when I saw you, you were real enthusiastic about it. Then you were like, "Oh, I feel great," I mean, you could see that you were on that road.
Well, I think it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. I've really settled into it. It's I don't even have to think. It's an unconscious thing now. I just live the life.
Yeah.
It's easy to make choices when you know what is best for you or what those good choices are.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just a lifestyle. Our people really do need to be educated because chronic disease is massive. Just being at this conference and seeing the foods that they're serving for morning tea and lunch, afternoon tea, and certainly that's not a choice of NSWALC, it's the venue, but perhaps we need some more promotion around healthier options because flour, sugar and tea does nothing good for our people. Well, tea's okay, but flour and sugar.
Well, you got to love the tea.
Yeah, you got to have tea.
But flour and sugar, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's right. It's about food combinations, understanding your body type, your blood type.
Yeah.
There's a whole science behind it as well, but really it's just about making good choices to live longer and be happier and healthier, sleep better. Yeah.
So, I mean, Andrew is a perfect example of someone who did make those choices, and we are talking about things like heart disease and diabetes, etc. And they are major killers for our people. And
one of the saddest things for me that I've seen, it's almost like it's just become accepted that Aboriginal people get diabetes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be. There's almost this complacency around it. And you've got people younger than me, the next generation coming through, they'd almost see it like this. It's almost like an identity thing. It's almost like this badge of honour. Yeah, I'm Aboriginal, I've got the sugar. And I just think it's just ridiculous. And so many of our people are dying from curable diseases, you know what I mean? But it's the conversations that we're not having around the kitchen table and that need to change. So, which is really interesting. So I did a political campaigning and media marketing workshop with James Christian, and it really does come down to what is the environment at home and around the kitchen table? What are the conversations that you're having that stimulate and I guess plant the seeds of the directions that our children are taking? So education starts in the home.
Absolutely. So certainly with your lifestyle changes and keeping them up and growing and moving with them, I'm just wondering how that's helped with your work as a CEO of a large LALC, of a very busy LALC. Because, and I'll just preface this with this, an enduring, tiny, small memory that I had when we saw you a couple of years ago, and we did quite a bit of filming for Sand Dune Adventures, your big business, and also for NAIDOC, was we'd had this full-on day. My colleague and I were around filming. We'd been out, we'd been on the dunes, we'd come back, we'd done all this stuff with Andrew. He'd already been going to start with. And I went looking for you later, and he was out the back of the LALC with a broom, sweeping. And I just went, wow. So the job of the CEO is not just the big important stuff, it's sweeping the floor too, And you've got to have energy for that.
Oh, absolutely. So being health, I mean, I did have a few... I had, a few small scares where there were a couple of times where being overweight and having high blood pressure and being under a lot of stress with work. Because someone said to me, a lot of people ask me when they say, what do you do for a job? And I say, I work at the local Aboriginal Land Council. And I say, oh, what does that mean? And you can't put your thumb on any one thing. Because I'd say to people, well, our job is to protect, promote and foster the best interests of the Aboriginal community. And you can't do that unless you're serving your community. Leadership's not about dictatorship. Leadership's about serving and leaving the footprints for people to follow and making an example of what it is you expect of the people around you. So I believe in servanthood a lot. There's nothing at work that I wouldn't be prepared to do. But having those few little scares of the ticker where I think they called it angina, and I went and had the tests and they said that I didn't have a heart attack but certainly I'm at a high risk and being Aboriginal and all that sort of stuff. So I just decided, well, if I'm going to do my job effectively and if the board are going to have faith in me hopefully they want to have me around for a while and I'm going to be able to do that sort of stuff constantly, then I need to be the healthiest specimen that I can be. But so I say to someone, it's like you can go as a CEO dealing with being in a meeting with ministers, sitting down with land property developers that are trying to drag you into some sort of joint venture, to having a knock on your office door and it's uncle and aunt who have an issue that this environment might think that's insignificant, but to our people, they need to be heard and they need to know that you recognise them and you're listening and that you're going to respond. So it might just be that on the way out to visit me, they got a chipped windscreen in their car, and it's like, oh, and it's not good, and we can't afford to fix it, and it's going to break, and what can we do about it? And I have to help. I have to see how I can help. So you almost become a father. So in my home, I think if something happens to my daughter's car, or something happens with my wife's car, or my son's got to get to soccer, or someone's got to do this and that, and they're going, Dad, help, Dad, do this, Dad, do that, Dad, do that. It's almost like you're a father to 1,000 families, and you really spread yourself thin. And I have a joke, and it's not funny joke. It is funny, but it's sad that there's an element of truth in it. Is that I kind of, to a small degree, my wife would disagree. She says I'm a great dad. I'm giving my children lots of time, but I feel like they grew up so quickly. But my joke is that I'm so busy working all the time that my kids only see me now and then, that they call me uncle. They don't call me dad.
God bless.
They don't call me dad anymore. So so you can be replaced in your job tomorrow. You cannot be replaced in your family. So my advice is, you only have a definitive amount of time. Invest it wisely. Choose where you're going to put it, and make sure your family get a big portion of that.
Okay. That's the perfect. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you so
No
much.
worries.
Thank you so
That's
much.
great.
Always great to speak with you, Andrew.
Yeah, you
All
too.
right, take it easy. Nakanya. That's Andrew Smith, who's the CEO of Wonnarua Local Aboriginal Land Council. Really, really, really inspiring man. Now, this week at NSWALC, we've hosted 2 First Nations people from Canada. Very, very special VIPs. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you going?
You should ask Wendy to come up. She said you go up there.
Oh, well, I want her to come up too if she wants to come up. She want to come up? Okay, she does. Oh, Wendy. All right.
She's a better interview, actually.
Is she?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay. So this is Grand Chief Edward John. Welcome.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Councillor Wendy Grant-John, who is sitting off to the side there, who I was actually hoping that Wendy would come and chat with us. No? Well, if you change your mind, just come on over. Yes,
She's coming over,
yeah.
You got to make room for her.
Yeah, we've got to make room. So just want to hold that for a sec. And
I'll
let's
ask her questions. I got some really good questions to ask.
Okay, we are going to have to all sit on this because I think the only way we're going to get in view. So do you want to pop in the middle? Good morning.
I'm waiting for a call.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why. So, and I've forced you to come and sit over here. But oh, are you? Okay. Have you got someone watching your phone?
He's watching my phone.
Okay. Okay. So Wendy's just waiting for a call from Ottawa at the moment. So you've both come here from Canada. You've been here this week. VIPs for Land Council and with keynote speeches as well. So can I just generally ask you how you found the conference so far this week, Wendy? Yeah.
Well, I did say this yesterday, but it bears repeating. Sitting in the conference, listening to the issues that are raised right from the community level up to the negotiation with the government, I could close my eyes and I could be in Canada in one of our meetings. Issues are exactly the same. The comments that are made and the battle that we're all in is really representative, I think, of all Indigenous people.
What about you?
The friendliness, the passion that people have for their communities, and the work that they are undertaking is the social economic issues, the rights issues, legal rights issues, title, fundamentally the same. Like she says, you could close your eyes and you'd think you were at home, except with the accent.
That's right.
But it's been an amazing several days. We had an opportunity to visit the Boami's cave, a site that's been there some 40,000 years. It's absolutely amazing to see the long historic connections that the Indigenous peoples have here to their lands and territories, that their roots run very deep, and they're absolutely proud of it, even though others have claimed the land and have, I don't know that if they have proprietary interest in it, but these are matters and issues that belong to the Indigenous peoples.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm so sorry. What can I call you?
Edward.
Edward. Okay, all right, great. So what we might do just for a couple of minutes, if that's okay with you, is could each of you just tell our viewers just a little bit about yourselves, like who you are, where you're from, etc., and what you're interested in, what you've done. in as great a detail as you care to. Is that all right?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right.
My name is Wendy Grant-John. I come from the Musqueam community on the west coast of Canada. I'm an elected member of the Chief and Council. I am a past chief. We are a patrilineal community, so women have always held an equal place in any of our governance systems. I'm the mother of 4 and grandmother of 10, which is what I'm the proudest of, and have worked in the community since the time that I can ever remember, because we've got, I think, 10 of our members that have been chiefs, so it's always been a part of our lifeblood. And because we are in the city of Vancouver, the kind of relationship that we've had to build is really was really volatile for a while. But being within a city the size of Vancouver, it has been an experience, I think, that others could take a look at because of the relationship we now have with the municipal government and the federal and provincial governments. But always been involved right from the time, as I said, I was young. But one of the issues that I didn't get a chance to talk about was I'm advising on an International Women's Conference that's going to be held in Vancouver in June. And there's 6,000 women from around the world coming, and they want to ensure at this conference that the messaging from Indigenous women is throughout the conference. So I encourage everyone to go online, look at Women Deliver, it's called, and see that we ensure that the Indigenous women from Australia participate.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I will definitely go and have a look, because that sounds very, very interesting and very important for First Nations, Indigenous people, women in particular, of course, to take part. Now, Edward, what about you? I mean, you know, I've got all this stuff written here about this man, and you also, and sort of blew my mind a little bit about a lot of the things you've done. So I'm very honoured that you're here talking to us.
So let me start off where Wendy ended. The International Women's Conference is very important for us. Canada, we're in the midst of a national inquiry into a missing and murdered Indigenous women.
Yes.
That's been underway for some time. This is an issue that is of so fundamental importance to us that we've had a provincial inquiry. We have now a national inquiry as to how do we address these issues? What do we see as the underlying matters that need resolution? And so that conference in June is very important for Indigenous women, not just in Canada but around the world. Having said that, in June also, likely in British Columbia, our province, will be an international conference on Indigenous languages. As you know, 2019 is declared by the United Nations as the International Year for Indigenous Languages. And the idea is, how do we revitalize our languages? You know, the Secretary General for the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, the former Secretary General, he stated at the UN Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues that one Indigenous language dies every 1 to 2 weeks, and it's a significant loss. And so the idea
That's terrible.
It is. So the idea is to have this year, but behind it is the push to have an international decade for Indigenous languages. The year would be to introduce the depth of the issue, and then further a decade that would help now begin to move to ensure that Indigenous languages are embedded in legislation, that state parties are able to provide the resources necessary for revitalization of Indigenous languages here in Australia with the Stolen Generations, in Canada with Indian residential schools, where our languages were forbidden, you know, that we as children, we were to be the instruments of our own demise, including the loss of our language, the loss of Indigenous identity, and all of that. It was a massive failure, and so now we're dealing with it. But I come from the northern part of British Columbia. Snow there now.
Is it? Now? Wow.
It's in the fall, late fall, early winter.
Okay.
So,
I didn't think, I thought it might snow a bit later, but no.
So
Wow.
we do have our traditional forms of structures, as well as we have elected chiefs and councils. My youngest sister is an elected chief on our council, and under our hereditary system, hereditary chief system, the name that I hold is a Kaijo. So we have those two structures that coexist. And for the most part, the elected chief and council deal with program issues, social economic issues in our communities, and they deal with the federal and provincial governments on a routine and continuous basis. And so my youngest sister, her name is Beverly, maybe they're watching.
Yeah, they
I
might.
know.
Yeah.
But they have a very, we have women that are on our council now. They're very dynamic, very strong, and good collaboration on, I think, on all parts. But this is the situation we have in Canada. We have a national strategy. The Prime Minister, in 1982, we had a constitution that recognized and affirmed Aboriginal and treaty rights, and then they forced us into the courts, and we've been in and out of the courts ever since. Prime Minister said we're wrong, we were wrong, and we're going to change our ways. We're going to begin with recognizing your rights. So we're in the midst of that right now.
Right. And where do you see, I guess, some of the parallels between where you're at in those matters and what you've learned of Australia's experience?
Well, here we're seeing political dynamics quite different than what we see. It's very much more conservative and not as enabling to Indigenous peoples here. Excuse me, not that we're out of the woods in Canada whatsoever, but we are in the process of resolving what we call the land question.
Yes.
Without having to extinguish our rights or to modify our rights, but that we're able to benefit alongside of what the Crown title and how the Crown benefits based on their Crown title, and how we benefit as Indigenous peoples based on Aboriginal title, and we have that these two titles coexist, and we should benefit in the same way as the Crown does.
Absolutely. Now, I'm seeing quite a bit of movement coming into the conference over here. You're waiting for your phone call. Do you want to come in for the first session, because it is the registrar today, so we might sort of wind it up. I'd love to keep talking with you too, but I want to give you a chance to get inside, etc. on time. So we do have the Nicole Cortman, who's the registrar of the Aboriginal Land Rights Act, is first session today for the conference, and I've been speaking here with Councillor Wendy Grant-John and Grand Chief Edward John. From Canada, two very, very experienced people in a whole range of issues, and the similarities between the experiences of the Indigenous peoples of both of our countries are quite profound. I do agree with you. You know, I've sort of noticed that very much so myself. So thank you very, very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Yep. And do you want to send specific shout out before you go? You got to anyone at home? Because they will be able to see this, even if it's not real time, because it just stays on Facebook.
I just want to say hello to everybody in Musqueam and look forward to being home in 4 days.
To our chief and council, people in my own community at Lasda Nation, and to the chiefs in British Columbia. Good morning from the land down under.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thanks very much, guys. I hope you enjoy the sessions today, and we'll see you at morning tea. Yeah, okay. So, Grand Chief Edward John and Councillor Wendy Grant-John, they've come over here to share some of the Canadian experience, and also a lot of, especially with Grand Chief Edward John, his experience. He was actually one of the people who assisted in designing the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. So, you know, really good minds there, and to be able to share some of that experience with our local Aboriginal land councils today, and actually across the week, with how, you know, we can all learn from each other as First Nations brothers and sisters around the world. We also, of course, have had elders from our communities. They've been recognised at the awards overnight. They have spoken. We've had people from all of our regions and our local Aboriginal land councils. You have been able to see that live streaming here on Facebook. We will be continuing that today until session ends at midday today, which is Thursday. So, you know, stay tuned. Watch the videos. We've got the registrar, as I said, coming up. We have a panel discussion on water which is a really, really important issue, of course, right across the state, but particularly in a number of parts of the state in our west, and also panel discussion on housing as well. So I hope you can stick around for that. I'm Michelle Alexander of Lovegrove. We've been doing the Breakfast Yarns here this week from NSWALC 2018 Statewide Conference. It's the first time we've tried it. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let us know if you have. You know, send us a message, send us a shout out, so that we know that perhaps that's something that we might be able to continue for you into the future. So until next time, we'll probably go offline for about 5 minutes, guys. We're going to go offline for 5 minutes while we set up the live stream in the conference room. So till next we meet, take care and knucka now.